Alright everyone, welcome back. Hope you're doing well, hope you're all keeping safe. Couple of bits of news, things to go over today. That includes the new Apparel event, and over the weekend Trick Dempsey provided some clarification on how the expertise system is gonna work. Thankfully it's looking better than I first thought, although I still have some questions. Drop a like and subscribe to stay up to date with all my videos, and let's get to it. The last global event, Reanimation, ended 6 days ago, tomorrow being 1 week since the seasonal rerun of content ended. With tomorrow being Tuesday, the one day of the week maintenance falls on, it's no surprise that many people have been wondering if the new Apparel event would be coming tomorrow, seeing as Massive have confirmed a December release date. Good friend Elite Academy actually tweeted at Yannick and Trick today asking this very question, and I decided to send my own tweet to Yannick replicating the same request, to which Yannick responded saying, "It will not start tomorrow, we'll have news to share soon." Now I don't think this should come as any surprise really. Yannick has been fairly proactive and certainly to the point recently when it comes to communication. Whilst Massive don't have the best track record for communication, you've probably noticed a lot of my videos talking about that, I do anticipate them providing some kind of notice before the new Apparel event goes live. With that in mind, my guess is the new Apparel event will go live next Tuesday, and we might get the news on this one Thursday of this week, as Massive do provide updates on Thursdays. The details of this event are currently unknown. I know some people are expecting an event akin to previous years around Christmas when we got the Slayer weapon and we also got the Santa hat and outfit and stuff. I'm expecting something similar here, to be honest. A Christmas themed event with various outfits, perhaps, I don't know, some kind of reindeer onesie or something. I'm not expecting a new weapon this time. Let me be clear though guys, I hope I'm wrong about the theme of this event. I really don't want a Christmas theme and would hope Massive deliver something more sensible and realistic. But we'll have to wait and see. It should be soon. Now moving on, and let's talk some more about the new expertise system. In my video from last Thursday, I talked about a major concern that I had for this system, and that was the incentive to try new builds. Massive stated the expertise system will encourage players to try new builds, but my interpretation of the intelligence annex made it seem as though the opposite might happen, and I provided my evidence for that in that video. Now towards the end of that video, I did provide a different interpretation from a Reddit comment, which, if true, would actually marry up with the statement from Massive about more players trying new builds. Now as you can see, I think the biggest problem taken away from all of this is confusion. Everyone seemed to interpret this article differently. I had comments from content creators and people in the community on Twitter asking me if it meant this or if it meant that, and really it was all kind of up in the air. Now over the weekend, Lieutenant Buzz Lightbeer was proactive and reached out to Trick Dempsey for some clarification, and got it. Now firstly, Buzz has already done a video covering Trick's response, so I want to thank him for breaking it all down. And secondly, I want to thank Trick for actually responding to this over the weekend. But with that in mind guys, how is it all going to work? Well, let's get into it. As Buzz says, it's very similar to a leveling system used in Warframe. Now I'm not going to reference Warframe itself, as I really don't know how the Warframe system works, but in terms of the division, here's what Trick said. Reaching max proficiency on an item or set only unlocks the ability to upgrade it. The number of upgrades you can apply to any item is determined by the meta expertise level. To unlock more upgrades, max out more items. If you only have best in slot items, you are going to be junior league. You will be choosing to not have power. To be clear, the leveling itself also does nothing to the item, only upgrading has any effect. So to put it simply, you will have both an expertise leveling system and proficiency leveling system running at the same time. As you gain XP, both of these are going to fill up. Think of the expertise level as your character level and the proficiency as your item level. Now hit level 10 proficiency and that item becomes proficient, unlocking the ability for you to upgrade those items. The more items that reach that proficient status, the higher your agent expertise level is going to be, therefore allowing you to have more upgrades. That's basically how the system is going to work. I have to say guys, this is much better than a traditional level increase system where you would have to kind of refarm everything and all that sort of stuff. The stuff that people really don't want to do when it comes to just your traditional kind of leveling system. And also it should provide that feeling of progression that so many people are after, including myself. Now, Trick's response does confirm then that players will need to use, new builds in order to increase your expertise level. So they weren't wrong when they made that statement, although the annex could have been a lot clearer to avoid all of this confusion. Trick also confirmed the following: and for the items that don't match a playstyle you enjoy, you can spend resources on instead of equipping and using. I'll probably do this with Mantis, for example, which I don't particularly enjoy using. Now, this is really good news. When I thought this is how the system might work following the Reddit comment, because this is basically what the Reddit comment said was going to happen, my concern was being forced to use items and builds you don't want to in order to increase your expertise level. Instead, you can simply use resources to increase the proficiency of the items that you don't want to use, and that's basically how that works. Let's hope the resource cost is reasonable, although I do have my reservations there, as I think Massive will want players to engage with items they don't normally use rather than just kind of buy their way to max expertise level, and I think I'd want that as well. Buzz actually raised some very good questions following this and some concerns around the system, like a restructuring of weaker items to avoid players simply using these as stepping stones to make already strong builds even stronger. If you're just having to use these lesser weapons, all you're going to do is get them to the highest proficiency and then go back to your strongest build, make that even stronger than it already is, and then you're just going to stick with that build indefinitely. And and I understand that you don't really want that. You want stuff to be way more balanced so that people don't do that. I recommend you check out Buzz on Twitter or his latest video for more information on the questions that he has raised. There's no doubt there are still questions that need to be answered, but I much prefer how this system is sounding compared to what I thought it was going to be, and a traditional level increase. Trick actually said in his Twitter post that he did get inspiration from Warframe for this system, and from my understanding this works in Warframe very well. People are happy with the way this system works, so I'm hoping that it translates here well. We'll have to wait and see when we get our hands on this system in February. Of course, all of this is null and void if the new content isn't enough to keep players engaged. I'm hoping Massive have made some considerable changes to how seasons are going to work, and we should know more about that with the next Intelligence Annex, which is likely to come out either on the 21st, the 23rd, or the 30th of December. I don't know which date it's going to be of those. I'll be checking all of those dates out to find out if it comes out. And of course, turn on notifications, guys, so you don't miss my coverage of that news. That's it though, everyone. Thanks for sticking around until the end. Really appreciate it. Hoping we hear some news shortly on the new Apparel event, which I'll be covering here on the channel. So don't forget to subscribe. Until the next one, Epic out.